Okay, so this is going to be a quick tutorial about how to take a design that you've either bought or created and take to the Glowforge machine to actually cut. If you have not bought a machine yet, make sure you use a code from a family or friend or from my video, and you get a discount and I will get the same benefit. So I just drew the square and made it the size of the actual board that I was going to put it on so that I could get the sizing of my letters and everything so that when I cut it out, it's going to look the same. But I'm not actually going to cut this because I want to use an actual thick piece of board that I've cut. So up here, I'm just going to move the screen around so you can see. So this is my design. Something that helps is changing the color so that the Glowforge recognizes it as two different things I'm wanting to cut. So I just changed the names to purple. I'll change the point value to 2 so you can kind of see it. And it's going to recognize Nana as something different and the names as something different. And I'm just going to get rid of that because I don't need it. And I'm going to leave that there because I'll show you in the Glowforge software. So I'm going to go File, Save As, Hard Drive, and I'm going to save it as SVG. Okay. Now I'm going to come to my Glowforge app. I already have it pulled up. I have a piece of wood in there that has already been used to cut some signs. So you can see where there's cutouts and everything else. So I'm going to go here, Create, Upload, and make sure I'm in Find My File, and it's telling me that it's pulling up my designs and it's arranging it into steps. So each color is going to arrange in a different step, and this is helpful in designs where some lines you want to cut, some lines you might want to engrave, and some lines you might want to score. So over here, Nana, I want it cut, and I'm using thin wood. I already have my settings saved. These are all the things I have my cuts that I know what wood or product I'm using and I know what works. So once you get these saved, it's a lot easier. This is the discount code that I had. I want to ignore that because I don't want to do anything with that. And then here's the names, and I'm also going to select thin wood. So now I can click back into my window. As you can see, part of my design is on pieces of cut wood. So this is, I can drag and drop. Let me get rid of this. That's that code I didn't want, and you can just select it and hit backspace to get it out of there. Now I'm going to drag each of my pieces. Those got stuck together as one step. That's okay. I'm going to leave that right there. I like to have things different colors because it usually lets you drag and drop them separately, so that you can move it around on your wood and use less product for each cut. So I'm just going to fit these little pieces in where I can save space. One thing, just make sure that you're not overlapping or getting, you can get pretty close, but if you get too close, I've had to do some reprints. So I'm just going to drag in place. I'm going to go ahead and start autofocus. This lets the laser just figure out the height of your material. So I'm going to set focus. Most of my cutting's right here, so I'm going to put the red box here and click. And now the machine is busy focusing, and I'll just drag and drop my other items where I want them. Be careful with the dots of your eyes. I've overlapped them before on things and messed up words, and that's no fun. And these words, when they're broken apart like this, get in little bitty pieces. So I want to make sure and pull everything up. If you accidentally change the size of one, you just go up here to the back arrow and it undoes it. So make sure your sizing is all right in your design, because if you change the sizing here, things are not going to fit. So just make sure you are aware of the sizing. There is a way to tell the size here if it's something that's not too important. We do have measurements up here. It's easier for me to do it in my Silhouette software. And my settings for this wood are not exactly right on, so I have it to cut it twice, and that gets it to cut. I'm gonna have to look up and ask someone what their settings are and try it. So my cuts on this wood do take a little bit longer because I just have a setting to cut it twice to make sure it cuts all the way through. So I'm gonna back out and just make sure I don't have anything under here. If it's in an area where the printer won't cut, it's gray, so sometimes it's hard to see. And I'm gonna check that nothing's overlapping. I feel like that's a little bit too close and it's overlapping the heart down there, so anything that's a little bit too close to the where I don't have wood left. All right, it looks good. Once I hit this ready button, it's going to tell the laser printer what to do. If I then go and decide something needs moved, it's not going to move it on the print. So if you hit ready and it prepares your print and you see something that overlaps, you're gonna have to hit cancel, move it, and then hit ready again. Because right now it's telling the Glowforge machine everything it needs to do. It's cutting all of this, that's why it's all in red. I've selected that in my settings here. It says unknown because I'm using my own wood that's not from Glowforge. I can plus and minus, so that's how long it's going to take me. Again, I don't have the best settings for this wood. I'm having it cut twice, so it shouldn't really be taking that long. And I'm going to come over here to my Glowforge. I've got my wood in, and I'm going to hit the start button. It's ready to press when it's flashing, and it begins.